Right, in this video I'm going to show you how I decorate my vivariums. It's a rehousing video. Basically the red-head Agamas have outgrown their current enclosure, so they need to be put into a bigger, more permanent home. And this exoteric vivarium just arrived, so I'm going to show you how I decorate them. I like to keep them as natural as possible, so they look nice, so when you see them in their more natural environment. So they're going to be housed next to the water dragon and the chameleon. So I will start. This is the basic tank, and it comes with a background, and all I need to do now is decorate it. So we'll start with putting sand in. Right, the sand is in, so that's the first step. I've got two different types of sand in here. The yellow kind is a fine desert sand, and the lighter coloured sand is actually calcium sand. That's because when you're keeping reptiles, people favour not using any substrate whatsoever, but I find it's difficult to keep clean. I know it might sound funny, but when the lizards go to the toilet, it's easier to clean when it's in the sand, as it all clumps to the sand and you've got a scoop, so you can just scoop up the mess. But a lot of people don't like using substrate because the lizards can ingest it and it causes impaction further down the line. That's why I like to use two different types of sand. Calcium, because it's a natural calcium, which is good for the lizard. If he does ingest it, it doesn't do him any harm in small quantities. The other reason why I use substrate is because obviously it looks more natural, it makes the tank look nicer, but also I hand feed all my lizards, so I don't just throw in the bugs, so that there's less chance of them actually eating some of the substrate if you leave them to hunt, because they often don't catch the bug first time, so they sometimes end up with a mouthful of sand. But because I hand feed them with the tongs, I know that they're not really eating any of the substrate. A lot of those lizards do like to lick their surroundings, they taste. Bearded dragons are well known for doing that, so that's why I like to use the calcium sand. Right, next step is to decorate this. Let's make it more interesting for the lizards. We'll put some ornaments in. Right, so we're going to decorate it. Now I like to use the Exoteric range. I just think their whole range is just so natural and it just makes the tank look really, really good. So it's an Exoteric tank, and like I said, I decorate it with the Exoteric products. So the first thing I'm going to put in is, because it's a desert environment, I want to give it the impression that it's in a dry, arid place. So I've got this buffalo skull. Now it's just a fiberglass, so it's not real, but it looks very realistic. So they can actually climb in through the ice, so it's a little hide as well. So it doesn't look out of place in the desert region. Next I'll give them something a bit to climb on, and we've got this rocky owl. Here we go. Put this in the corner. And some rocks in at the back. You can see it's got holes, so they can climb in there and hide as well. So I place the house. We'll put that in the corner there. How does that look? Yeah, it's looking good. So now we need something for them to hide. Something to climb on. Give them a bit more height. So I'll put a branch in. I'll see if I've got a branch that'll fit in here. This one here. Okay. Let's see if we can get this to fit. Right. It's quite a big piece, so trying to get it to fit might be a problem. There we go. I think that will do that. Yeah, there we go. So there's a nice big branch there, so they can climb all the way up the top. They're very good at climbing on the background as well. So let's have a look at that from a distance. There we go. I think that looks quite nice. So all we need to do now is put a water bowl in, to give them some water, and then put the lizards in. Okay, that's the water bowl in. Nice big water bowl. That's the Exoteric bowl. So it's got large water bowls, and they can also soak themselves in there. Lizards like to have baths every so often. Helps with their skin, so they can bathe in there. So that's the tank. It's finished. I'm quite happy with it. So we'll put the lizards in, see how they like it. Right, that's the red-head Agamas in their new home. It was easier than I thought. These guys aren't tame. They don't like being held. I'm a bit annoyed. I try my hardest, but they're still scared of me. I'm going to work on them because they are really nice looking lizards. You can see the male there with the red head. That's the female one over there. So the male, eventually, once he matures, his body can turn blue, and he'll have a red head. So that's why it's known as the red-headed Agamas. But it's also known, well, made famous by the Spider-Man film. So it's also known as the Spider-Man lizard. And so this is their home. Now this will do them for right up until they're an adult, and then they'll have to move into something bigger, about the same size as what the bearded dragon enclosure is, because that's about the size they grow to. Okay, so they seem to like their new home. They're sticking up onto the wall, so they'll maybe have a wander about and see if they can explore and maybe hide. They like their new environment. Okay, well, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video.